Good afternoon. It's been an interesting day. First, we passed what we considered a very good tax bill that before it even got to the governor's desk, he said he's going to veto the bill, that it didn't have education linked to it, and that it didn't collect enough taxes from the business community. That was frustrating because that bill did raise taxes on the business community, but found a way to drive down the cost for the individuals. So as we conform to the federal government, the individual wouldn't have to pay any taxes. It took $140 million to do that. And so hearing that news before the bill even got to him was a bit frustrating. But then today we brought forth the bonding bill, and as you know, the Senate has to pass a bonding bill. The House does, the Senate does, and then that comes together in conference committee where the governor then works with us. And so I apparently misunderstood Senator Bach. I thought we had some support from them as we brought the bill forward. As you know, a bonding bill has to have 41 votes. Republicans have 34. So today, the end bill was 34 Republican votes and 0 Democratic votes. And so as we looked at, what are we going to do now, it's a bit frustrating. I appreciate that Senator Senjem worked so hard to make that bill, first of all, with projects across the state and for both Democrat and Republican senators. If you looked at the breakout, it was 24 Democrat senators had projects within their district, 27 Republican senators had projects within their district. So it was an attempt to be bipartisan, and here we are now without a bill. And the last thing I'll say before I turn it over to Senator Senjem was Senator Bach did approach me after and said I could change my vote for it to be reconsidered, and I said you are welcome to do that, but if you do that, we're going to bring it up for a vote again. We only have so many days left, and the bill should go into conference committee where we work out the details with the governor. So if he does vote to reconsider, we will bring it up again to vote and need their votes to pass it because it requires 41 votes to pass. But Senator Senjem?
Well, thank you, Senator Gazelka. Yeah, kind of disappointed today. I thought we had a good bill. We did have a good bill. We had an outstanding bill. I've been involved in writing several of these and been tag along for a number of years with Senator Langsett and Senator Stump, and we had an outstanding bill. We honestly had an outstanding bill. And frankly, what I want to emphasize is that when we think about bonding, we often think about the $1 billion ceiling over the course of a biennium. Had this bill passed, and had we gone forward with the House, we would have over $2 billion of infrastructure spending across Minnesota with this bill. And that is, I think, something that our Minnesota needs. Frankly, Senator Pappas talked about the need for infrastructure in Minnesota and the importance of a bonding bill. $2 billion worth of infrastructure spending is not bad by any stretch of anybody's imagination at the state capitol. It's record-setting. But here we are. We're at the location we're at, and we're going to. I don't know if we're going to rewind this thing or not. I don't. I've got energy, endless energy, but there's a level of disappointment here as well from the standpoint of you put forth your best effort and it's rejected. And as I said on the floor, with respect to Senator Pappas's bill, okay, that's a bill that can't pass. Our bill can pass, should pass, and in the end, I hope will pass.
Any questions?
What assurances did the minority leader give you? You alluded to that.
Well, I need to be careful how I answer that because it could have been a miscommunication, but I understood him to say that we had support, but and normally you do. Normally with a bonding bill of this size, with last year's bonding bill of $1.2 billion and now $825 million, I thought I had his support, but that really isn't the issue here. I absolutely could be wrong on that. He and I talked after, and I take him at his word. We have a good relationship. But either way, we would have had to bring the bill forward because the House passed a similar size bill with bipartisan support. This was not much different from theirs. We assumed that it would also pass, but it did not.
So, Leader, where do you go from here?
Well, I think we'll probably have a day or so to think about it. Senator Bach may yet ask to reconsider. That would be helpful in the process. I'm sure there's other things that we can try to do to work towards a conclusion in the end with a bonding bill. But I would say this would have been the best way for the most open way to talk about the final finish with you have both House and Senate working together in a conference committee and the governor weighing in. There are other ways that we can do it in the end, and we just have to figure that out.
Let's talk about procedurally what you do. So either Senator Bach votes to reconsider, maybe Chair Davids has another vehicle coming over. What's the route? So
Yes and yes, those are both possibilities. So there were no Republicans that voted no on the bill. I initially was a yes, assuming that we were all going to be voting, or at least 41 or more voting yes. When it became apparent that they were all no, I initially put a no down to consider, do I want to be the one to reconsider? But I don't want to play the game. In the end, if you don't want a bonding bill, then don't vote for one. And so if they want a bonding bill, then they're going to have to vote to reconsider. That's up to them.
And Senator, just to clarify, they want a bonding bill, but they want one that's double the size of this, of course. Are you willing to go back and Senator Senjem to put more of those projects in and reconsider that? So
based on what we did last year, $1.2 billion, I believe the biggest bonding bill probably ever, and $825 million that we have on the table this year, if they want to be at $1.5 billion, I believe that's irresponsible with the dollars that we have in Minnesota. So 1.2 last year, another 1.5 this year, that's a number that I'm not willing to use the credit card of the state and put the taxpayers on the risk for that kind of money. Everything above that 825 means that we have to have more money out of the general fund to maintain covering that debt. And so we're never going to be there. That would be, like Senator Senjem said, a number that would never pass.
So this is it?
Well,
I mean, what about 1.2? I'm not going to, I don't want to negotiate.
I am not negotiating with you. I'm going to negotiate with the House and the governor, and, we'll see. Very good, though. You are good.
But I mean, you're not coming back with this bill, is what is the basic point.
I'm still not negotiating with you. Good.
I don't want to put another bill together,
Well,
I'm a
on that,
one-and-done guy.
do you have another bill in your back pocket that's ready to go? A lot of your predecessors have. They've had the second bill all ready to go.
Absolutely not. I can assure you of that. I can assure you of that. There's no second chance here from the standpoint of another bill. We don't, instead of having one together, of course not. We don't have one together. We worked hard to put this one together, and it's a delicate thing, and there's wonderful things in there. I think just in terms of this mental illness thing that I've been working on, it's a huge thing for everyone across the state, Today it's gone. We had so much hope for things like this, and transportation, wastewater infrastructure, on and on. It's a good, powerful bill, just augmenting what we did last year, and well, today it's gone. We'll see where it goes, but,
So what I hear both of you gentlemen saying is that unless someone votes to reconsider, this is it, you're done.
No, I would not go that far. There are other avenues that we can try to work with the House to do. They're not as clean. I think this is the better way to do it would be that they would vote to reconsider and we get it into conference committee, but that's the part. If that doesn't happen, then we'll explore other areas. In the end, I think a bonding bill is good for Minnesota. I think what surprises me is we talked in the beginning, the governor, the House, the Senate, Republicans, Democrats, that we wanted a bonding bill, that we thought that the tax bill, we needed to have conformity on that, and then the spending bill, which included safe and secure schools, elder abuse, opioid abuse, fixing min-lars, that was all in that last bill. We all talked about that. And so here the tax bill might go down, and here the bonding bill did go down. It's difficult. I don't know what we're going to do at this point. We're going to work towards a solution. I just don't know what it is yet.
Is everything going to have to be tied together? You lost the two bills today. Secretary Simon stood right where you are earlier today and said he's sure the omnibus bill will be vetoed. There are things like elder abuse and pensions. Almost every major bill would seem to be in trouble right now.
Well, first of all, Secretary Simonson is no longer a legislator, and so he's not involved in any of the negotiations, and we are working very hard with the governor, or at least I'll say with the governor's staff, to try to work through the thorny issues before some of those things even get to his level and my level. And so that's what we're going to do. I'm still optimistic that the spending bill will pass. I think we really want a tax bill to pass. The conformity issue is a big deal. If we have to wait till January, we can. I just don't think that that's wise. And then the bonding bill, like I said, we've all talked about the fact that the House and Senate talked about this size of a bill from the beginning, tells you that we want something. In times past, we basically haven't said anything about a bonding bill. So I think we can still get there, it's just that the time is starting to run out.
In my very brief and unscientific flash poll of people upstairs, I didn't find anybody who didn't think there's going to be a bonding bill. Do you think that those folks may be in for a surprise?
They're probably starting to get nervous just because of the late time of this. And the other thing I'll say about the Senate, since I've been majority leader, I think that there's been a pretty open, good conversation, good cooperation on a number of bills, because we're 34-33. And so I aim to get back to that. This was a setback of that, but I'm not giving up on the progress that we've done working together.
Can I just say one thing?
Oh, sorry, there is a vote. I got to take.
I just want to say this, as the chair, I've got probably 2 or 3 days of work with Senator or Representative Verdal, even if we take the bills that we have today. So the chair is running a little scared from the standpoint of the clock, and I just hope Senator Bach acts quickly in terms of reconsideration.
Senator Senjem, did you have DFL support for your bill at the committee level?
Yes, certainly in the bonding committee was, unless they didn't say anything, I don't know. We didn't roll call it, but there was no voice negatives at that
Senator,
point.
you're missing the vote. You want to vote?
I gotta go.
What's the vote? Thank you.
Enbridge line 3.
34, 33. You think? 34, 33?